Morning, Elevation Health, friends and family. This is Dr. Dave Yachter with another episode and bringing to you another important topic here on anti-aging. And we're coming into our workshop here about a week out, our anti-aging and detox workshop. And we're having a lot of good response, good feedback. A lot of people registering. Registration is nearly full. And I just want to share with you some of my thoughts as I'm preparing for this workshop. I'm very excited, very encouraged as far as what a lot of the new studies and research is showing in hopes of a healthier and happier future and the best quality of life that you could ask for in the next, 10, 20, 30 years. So the main question is, who do you know that wants to look and feel 10 years younger? I know I do. How about you? And we have to, first and foremost, we all want that, but the question is, do we have a strategy to execute that and actually make that a reality? So, the most critical factors that have to be considered when it comes to aging. Well, first of all, what are the most common signs of aging? When we think about aging, what do you think about? Like when somebody's getting old, if you feel like you're getting older, what usually comes with that? One of the most common responses we hear is aches and pains. My back hurts, my neck hurts, my knees hurt, my feet, my shoulders, my hips, all my joints, right? You start to see issues with your heart, your blood pressure, your cholesterol, flutters, atrial fibrillation. You start to notice change in your energy, dips in your energy, fatigue, weight gain, weight loss resistance. All of a sudden, it's harder than ever, nearly impossible to keep the weight off. Blood sugar problems we see, type 2 diabetes, very, very common. And not just as you get older, but now we're seeing it unfortunately start in younger ages with children. Cancers, breast cancer, prostate cancer, colon cancer, uterine cancer, all very common as we get older. And of course, memory problems. Now more than ever, we're starting to see the onset of dementia and Alzheimer's earlier and earlier in life. And the cognitive decline has just become so prevalent. If we're not doing something to prevent it, it's almost a certainty at some point we're going to be dealing with this, especially close at home, loved ones, family members. And it's absolutely insane how the financial impact ruins families that I've seen. It's devastating. It's bankrupting. When people have to deal with this, especially the brain disease that starts to onset in these years. So it's hugely important that we find ways to start to prevent this because it is preventable. We may have the genes for these things. We may have the DNA that predisposes us, but there are things that we could do to prevent this, or at least slow things down, like wrinkling of the skin, hair becoming brittle, or hair loss. There are things that we can do to slow down or at least stave off all of these common signs of aging. And I think we're all in agreement with that, but the question is how. And DNA definitely plays a role. Some of us have more of a predisposition to some diseases, whether it's Alzheimer's, heart disease, cancer, Parkinson's, whatever it is. We may have more of a tendency, but that's all that it is. It's just a tendency or a higher risk. But the reality is that your DNA and my DNA are absolutely 100% influenced by the environment that we subject it to, the environment that we subject the cells to, our stress, our nutrition, our level of toxicity. All of that determines how the DNA expresses itself, turning on those disease genes that we have a tendency for, or turning them off, shutting them down, muting them, delaying the onset, or even preventing the onset of those diseases. Hopefully this is making sense. Basically, it's well known in the scientific community that strategies can be created to reduce our risk of all of these tendencies related to aging, disease, and early death by, get this now, 50 to 95%. 50 to 95% risk reduction in all of these disease categories and early death. So think about that. You have the ability to add 10, 20, 30 years to your life expectancy if you are getting the right information and, more importantly, implementing that, applying it to your life in a certain strategy. So you can absolutely, without a doubt, increase the average lifespan. This is what I'm seeing now. All the emerging research conclusively, black and white, all stops out, can increase the average lifespan by decades. So if you could live an extra decade or two enjoying a healthy quality of life, if you had a healthy quality of life doing that, would you? I've often heard people respond to that question by saying, no, I don't want to live any longer. It's enough is enough. I'm in enough pain. But what if you weren't in pain? What if you had more energy? What if you were stronger? What if you could keep doing all the things that you love doing into your 80s, 90s, past 100? Because there are plenty of people doing that. And the question is, why not you? Why not me? Of course, that's your decision. And if that's something that you're interested in, I would definitely encourage you to be at this workshop next week. We're going to pull out all the stops. We're going to give you everything that you need to make this a reality if you make it a priority in your life. So you'll learn about the single most important factor when it comes to anti-aging and quality of life. Do you know what that is? The single most important factor when it comes to anti-aging. If you don't know that answer, be at this workshop next Tuesday. How to look and feel 10 years younger and stronger. Improve your energy by 20 to 30%. Improve your sleep, your mental clarity. As I said, prevent dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's disease. Reverse type 2 diabetes and heart disease. All of this is going to be touched on and addressed. So I encourage you to be there. It's next Tuesday night at 5:45. This will be May 9th. Just a quick shout out again to my friend Nina, who referred Cheryl Caldwell to our office. On a previous episode, I think I made mention, but Cheryl wrote us a wonderful 5-star review on Google. So encouraging to us, to myself and our team. And she wrote this. She said, only 5 stars are not enough to rate this doctor and staff. At my first appointment with Dr. Yachter, I was panicked and feeling hopeless. I'd been told by an orthopedist that my scoliosis would get worse and that there was nothing that could be done about it. Fortunately, nothing that can be done, or nothing you can do, quote unquote, she wrote, is not in Dr. Yachter's vocabulary. After only 12 weeks of treatment, there is a significant reduction in the deviations of my spine. There are x-rays to prove it. In addition to turning on the power in your spine, Dr. Yachter's on a mission to provide us with as much information as possible to help us live our best, longest, healthiest, and happiest lives. Who wouldn't want all of that? So, yes, you've heard me say that, but that's exactly what Cheryl's saying is. So she gets it, and I'm so thankful. And, we are very passionate about helping people understand how their body works and just deploying that and actually implementing that and seeing the fruit of your labor. I really appreciate you taking the time out, Cheryl, to writing this, because there's other people out there that are going around the internet reading reviews, and somebody's going to read this and it's going to change their life. You are going to be an encouragement to who knows how many people to make a better decision for their lives. So I appreciate the pat on the back, but you know what? It's not for me. It's for our community and leaving it better than we found it. And Cheryl, you've taken one step to do that. So I applaud you and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And so does my team. So closing up here, again, if you want to learn much more about anti-aging and detox, be at that workshop next Tuesday night at 5:45. Next Tuesday, May 9th, 5:45. So just make sure you get registered. Put your name on the registration page at the front desk if you're in the office, or call the office and do so to register your friends, family members, loved ones, coworkers, wherever it is that you want to help and be an encouragement to. Call the office 954-472-6002. I thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you there. Love and appreciate you. God bless.